Last time you were on, I asked you a question.
Do you believe you will be the biggest automotive YouTuber in the world?
I think so, yeah.
Since I was last here in the van, you've nearly doubled your subscribers and a total of over 120 million views, which equates to 8 views a second just on YouTube. How is your brain processing that information as I'm saying it?
I didn't even know that.
What does that make you feel?
The amount of people which do watch the channel and do love it and do generally like me, I'm so thankful. There's thousands and thousands of people that want to speak to you and feel like they know you, but I just don't know how to deal with. I'm not massively a people person. And normally I look all smiley and happy all the time, but like sometimes I'm like, oh my God. That's something that I don't expect.
Would you still stick with YouTube?
Honestly,
I've just finished recording my second ever episode with Mat Armstrong. In the first episode we recorded 6 months ago, we found out who Matt is and how he got to where he got to. But in this episode, I feel like we've got to know each other a bit better, and I got down into the nitty-gritty of the stuff that you might not know about Mat Armstrong, stuff that he's never spoke about on camera. So sit back, and I really hope that you can enjoy this episode. In the period that it's taken me to do that introduction, especially at this time of night, that's probably been thousands of views just in the period that I've been saying that intro. But like, I did a live podcast the other week where there was only 100 people in front of me talking to. But it's weird, that made me feel suddenly, and I didn't expect to be, but I suddenly felt quite weird for 10 minutes and was getting used to the emotions. What does that make you feel?
I don't think about it like that. It's weird because that's what we kind of like. The aim is to be like, right, we want more and more people to watch. We want more and more people to enjoy the content because we generally think the content is good. Like we think we're putting out good content. We just need more people to enjoy it and watch it. But when you actually think about how many people in perspective are actually watching it, that it does make you feel weird. Because if you think about like a football game, like when Wembley Stadium's full, like it's not millions of people, is it? Still, it's like hundreds
80,
of thousands.
000.
Is it 80,000? Is that
80,000. So Twickenham's 80.
Oh my
2,000,
God.
I want to say. And we all see the shots, say, of the Nou Camp, Barcelona. We've all seen that when the Champions League comes on. I think that's one of the biggest stadiums. But your unit is a damn sight smaller than any of those stadiums. And when we were in there a minute ago, when you're cutting away cars and your dad's giggling, I'm just stood there right in the middle, just looking up and around, just at the walls and the lights and the smell and the mess and the carnage and thinking, but just imagine if we could take away the walls of this unit and put the people around.
Oh my
what
God.
the scale of that would look like. Just the people that watch in the first 24 hours.
That's unreal. Yeah, in 24 hours, I think we do like 1.2 million people in 24 hours, which is insane. I think we looked at Top Gear numbers, like overnight views on Top Gear, and they were doing like 1 million, 1.1, and we're like matching it now, which is unreal because you think how many people used to sit down to watch Top Gear on like a Sunday night, and now we're matching it, and there's only like a small team, and there's no filter or anything, no like review of the footage before it goes live. Like we film it, we put it out, whatever's there is there. Like if we make a mistake, which I have done because I've been editing way late at night, it's mental. But I think that's what people enjoy. It's like more real than like an episode of Top Gear which was filmed like a year ago then being like published on the BBC. I think that's the way it's going.
I think what's been fantastic, and definitely since the last episode, you've been kind, brave and stupid enough to let me get involved with a couple of videos racing you around a certain track up in Teesside. But in also doing that, I visited the premises, the unit. We've been here for an hour or so before we come here. We're lucky enough to know each other from when you were right back at the beginning of your channel. And we was actually just saying when we were in there a minute ago, I had this flashback to a video where you were talking about so proudly the fact that you had managed to afford half the unit that we were just stood in.
Yeah.
I was stood in there a minute ago and just clicked and I was like, whoa, that's time has really moved on. What I would like to get into today around all that, since I've been lucky enough to be immersed in some of it and seen bits, is just what goes into running this channel. Because the viewer can only see what you give to them.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk to the other members of your team, it's very apparent to me that what you put out is very real. It's not acted. It's not this. It's how you are when I turn up, or when the guy delivering the food out the front turns up, what he sees. It is very real. But they don't see the time spent out of the 20 minutes and 6-second individual clips that you put into going in there. So today I want to get into what actually it takes to run your channel. So how many people are currently involved on like a day-to-day basis at making this thing tick?
Okay, so me, my dad is now full-time. Matt, my cameraman, who people would have seen. Okay, he's becoming more of a cameraman and person behind the camera as well, like a character as well, is in some of the videos, which again, I think that breaks that barrier of TV and YouTube, because the cameraman is talking and then sometimes on the camera. So that's 4 people. Hannah is in and around on the camera, but mainly doing all the merchandise stuff, the finance stuff. She'll come downstairs and be like, I've got 95 missing receipts of this, that, and the other, when we go Miller and Carter after the track day or something like that. So then there'll be Hannah as well. And that's 5 people. And then we have like odd part-time staff coming now and again. We've just took one more person on to take control of doing all of the shorts, TikTok, Instagram stuff, and the multi-language stuff as well, and he'll be taking control of the gaming channel as well. So we've got an extra guy. So yeah, about 6 people, give or take, it is full-time.
And across how many channels?
Oh my God. Main channel, second channel, Spanish channel, German channel, shorts channel, 5, and then there's obviously Facebook, Instagram. So I think 5 channels.
5 channels. And you obviously need some pretty good partners and bits of technology to also make the thing tick and work as well.
Yeah.
What is something that you use that you couldn't live without?
Car vertical checking the car, which would tell me millions of things I need to know before I actually make that purchase on the car. So, like, well, you know yourself. I'm sure you've car vertical checked a car yourself.
We checked out the van before we did this whole conversion on it, because it's not just cars, you can also do vans.
And how did that come back?
It was fine, which is why we decided to cut it up, chop it up and crack on with it.
Well, the good thing about mine is they're normally not fine. But people have always asked me, like, why would I check out a car that I know is damaged before? Well, it can affect their value massively. I think people have already asked about, the BMW doesn't show up as damaged on a car vertical check. That's because it's not a registered damage, whereas car vertical would show only registered damaged cars, like, for example, my Audi RS6, which I know there's been no mileage fraud on it, so I don't need to look into that side of things. I know there's no outstanding finance, which is a massive thing as well. I don't want to rebuild a car which someone's still paying for, and then all of a sudden they decide not to stop paying, and then the car gets taken off my driveway because there's still outstanding finance on it. And then the best thing, what we find, is finding the actual history of the car. We can find, like, when you go down onto the timeline part of it, and you can see the registration plate changes and things like that. What a lot of people might not know, or might know, if you take those private regs, or if you take the actual registration plates that they were before and put them into Google and have a little search. Sometimes you can find photos of where they've been, what they've been doing, who the previous owner was, and it helps us create a story about the car by doing that. And one of the cars coming up, people will be very interested about when we find the history on that as well.
So if you want to check out a car using Car Vertical, use the discount code on the screen now to receive 20% off your check. So you mentioned a minute ago that what you love about the way that we filmed the video, for say when we went to the track the other day, you've got Matt turning the camera around, becoming involved in the video, which is making it a YouTube video, not something that's on TV.
Yeah.
Do you think then that the videos that you're currently filming get more views as they are now than if you were to invest, say, money in having 5 cameramen around that track that we recorded at the other day, with professional cameras on swinging tripods as you slide past in the 720S? Do you believe that just by having one couple of £1,000 screen turned around in a hand without any gimbal and all the rest of it is better for the channel, for growth and all the rest of it than that?
I think like, it would look better if we hired a camera team, and it would look better, but looking better and looking professional doesn't equate to more people enjoying it. I think on YouTube, people feel that when they're watching my videos, they feel like they're part of the team, they're part of the squad. They're there on track with us, stood by the side of us on track. And I think the cameras mainly held at eye level. So it's like, you're just with us. You're seeing what Matt sees, and then Matt spinning it around. He's talking to the people that are viewing it, but it's trying to make you feel like, right, you're in the garage with us building this car. Whereas if it's just a camera, it becomes like a filter between me and the viewers. I like to make it feel like, yeah, I'm on the floor working on this car, and the people watching it are there with me working on it. And I think that's where the connection like comes from.
What I love is just seeing like the car slide past when you're there filming, and Matt's just like getting his top and rubbing, rubbing the lens on the camera, and I'm just like, that little bit of glass there that you're rubbing, 2 million people have to look through that in 24 hours. It's just like that sense of comprehension of what's actually going on is sometimes lost when there's just less of us filming something in a certain space. But those numbers that I rolled off on the start, when you start hitting those sorts of numbers, opportunity starts knocking.
Yeah.
And what you do on a day-to-day basis is get your head down, work hard, cut up and build cars, and create content, film it and edit it. You're producing a piece of content. YouTube is purely the avenue that you choose to display that content to the user, which is monetized and can then provide a fee backwards. Surely there's a point where Netflix come knocking, Amazon come knocking. And if they did and said, we'll fund all of this, but pay you what you're earning now plus some, do you think that's the right way to go? Or would you still stick with YouTube?
Honestly, if Netflix is watching, then I'm, no offense, but but no, like I don't think I think the YouTube part of it is part that I enjoy, is trying to work it out. Okay, this works better. If I do this thumbnail and title, this works better. How can I keep people watching for this amount of time? Whereas I feel like on Netflix or like Amazon, we create something, we put it out, whether people like it or not, it's there to decide. I don't figure any of that part out. I have no control of the editing or anything like that on the Amazon or Netflix, and they can create the story how they want. Whereas I feel like I'm massively in control on YouTube. My goal is to make the viewer feel how I felt at that time of filming. And I think if I can do that, it's a good video. So when the RS6 completely blown up, I need to make the viewer feel how I felt at that time. Whereas something like Netflix or Amazon, if they were watching that, or they're looking at the footage here, they're looking at it and they don't know how I was exactly feeling at that time. I might not look it. Normally I look all smiley and happy all the time, but like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened. And then you need the viewer to feel that exact same way. So somebody else telling the story, I don't feel it would be as good as how I would tell it myself, because I'm experiencing it.
Would you sooner have one of your other team choose the car builds without your knowledge than take control of the editing?
Yeah, I think so.
And do you think that people actually realise that might be listening to this, that you are the person that edits all the videos on the main channel?
Yeah, maybe they don't. Yeah, they probably don't. And a lot of people get angry at that. They'll say, you need to get an editor because we need more content. But editing is part of it. I think it's part of being a creator rather than otherwise I'd just be a presenter or I'd just be a mechanic. I enjoy going into the unit. I can see the storyline in my head of like, okay, we're going to have the car at this point at the start of the video, and at the end we're going to have it at this point at the end of the video. And now I'm creating a story in my head and can see how I'm going to edit it, and I can do it that way rather than I just go into the unit, do whatever and let an editor deal with it. I feel like you'd just lose that personal touch if I didn't edit the videos. Second channel, that is like a whole different kettle of fish. Matt just goes wild with that, and we just try different things on that, which is cool. And some people like it, some people don't like it, but it's good to have like an experimental channel as such.
100%, because the thing is, when you've got something that's doing so well, and numbers are the thing that we pitch everything against.
Yeah.
And we spoke before, it's irritating how a lot of sponsors, brands, people, the first thing they look on when they come into a channel is the subscriber number.
Yeah.
Yet the thing that actually matters the most to you and the team isn't that at all, it's the views, correct?
Yeah.
So it's the what views that video is doing in 24 hours. Do you think that if you gave away the editing then, that would really harm that whole process? I've
tried before giving away the editing, but it ends up taking me more time to sit down with, say, Matt, who's edited it, and adjust the whole editing to how I want it. Like he could eventually maybe get it to a point and then we go through it. But I as well as I enjoy it as well as a part of like, I enjoy editing. I enjoy getting better at editing as well. People can see the progression of the editing. And then also I'll do 5 days at the unit and then I'll do 2 days at home editing. And it gives that break as well of being out of the unit.
So what you've just said there is, I think people associate when someone's doing well and they look at the channel and they think Matt's doing well, that is the reaction people would have. That doing well can come with money and money can come with having time off, and time off gives you time to have fun. Every single time I see you, you are working. When we pulled up in the car park of a hotel the other week, you were sat, headphones on, in the room at the car park, staring at the screen, ready to get a video live that night. Can you just take me through, like today, it's Friday evening and we're sat in the van at 7:10 after you've been cutting up a BMW and the unit is like gassed out right now. Take me through your day.
I think, do you know,
tell the guys what today's been like.
I'd be interested to find out what other people think I do in the day. Like whether they think, oh, on Monday, I'm just chilling at home or doing this. But I'd be interested to think, but genuinely every day is packed full of something. So like, I don't get up the earliest, but I feel like because I've got to be on camera, I've got to be energetic anyway. So I'll get up maybe 9:30 and then I'll get...
9:30?
Yeah.
Well, hang on a second. I'll take it all back.
Let's go. But then you need to see the finish time.
Don't look on Tom Hartley's Instagram. I tell you, he'd have some stuff to say.
So 9:30 is get up. Actually, I've been going to the gym recently as well. So I'll be going to the gym before the unit, 1 day on, 1 day off. Just, you know, actually, we might be able to see if I look healthier since last time. Maybe, I don't know.
In all that baggy stuff, it might be kind of hard.
So then, I'll go to the gym, I'll go to the unit, and then we'll be at the unit cracking on with whatever car we're on at that point. So we always have like a deadline day, which will be the following week or when we've got to get a video out, because the videos are pretty much real time. Like we film and then we edit and it's out the following week. So we'll be at the unit, full day working at the unit, and then depending on how long the car takes, maybe finish earliest 9:30, 10, latest 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the way we could tell is where the moon is positioned when you come out the unit door. We'll be like, oh, it is a late one because the moon's all the way over on that side. We always say it. We're like, oh, it's pretty far tonight, because when you're in the unit, you can't tell what the time is at all. It's like a time capsule. There's no light or anything. You're just in there working. But because I enjoy it, it's like unstoppable, really. And if I didn't work that hard, somebody else did. And I think that's why we're in the position we're at the minute, is because we're on it 24/7, but we're all enjoying it. And if we didn't enjoy it, or we had like a few days off a week, there'd be somebody else working harder than us to overtake us. I think that's the way.
I think with you, I really struggle twice now, this being the second podcast, to just find that moment that we look for when editing our videos in a podcast, which is like, what's that moment? Where can I get him? Where's the bit that's like, that scares him or frightens him or does something? And it genuinely all just runs like such a well-oiled machine that the more I dig, the more I look, the more I try and find out. I really struggle. But would you say that is potentially a moment? Do you sit down and do you worry that another creator is outworking you?
I don't, do you know what? I don't see it as well that it's like a competition, but I would enjoy it if someone was, example, say Whistling Diesel, he's doing more views than us per video. And we always look at that. We're like, this guy's clever. Like, it comes across on camera that he's doing all this stupid stuff, but he's a clever guy. Like, we know he's clever. He knows the way, how to work it. He doesn't post as regular, but his ideas are amazing. They're brilliant. But we enjoy looking at people that are doing better than us, and we can take ideas from them and work out, okay, what's working for them, what's not working for us. I enjoy that. And I kind of wish there was more things we could take from other people. But yeah, I wouldn't see it as like, I don't get down if somebody's doing better than me. I think I use it as kind of motivation almost. It's hard to
But what would you classify as doing better than you? Because as you just mentioned, if you're not just because you get more views on one video that's gone out and you fixate and focus on that, you just reeled off 5 different channels
Yeah.
that combined probably do a lot more than that, I would guess, one video that you're fixating on. So what in your head is doing better than where you currently are?
For me, I don't you know what? It's a really difficult one. I would say, like, I feel like we could, as I said in the last video, 5 million views per video is possible. It sounds crazy, but it is possible. And someone like Whistle and Diesel is doing that. And I can't see why we couldn't do that. And that's like the goal we want to reach definitely by the end of this year. So if we come on again and I'm doing it, I'll be absolutely buzzing. But I think 5 million is definitely possible. But I think it is. I feel like fulfilled in the fact that, like, we can rebuild most cars now, and now I'm more picking the cars that I want to repair and the type of repairs I want to do. Like, I enjoy that side of things, and we can kind of push it in either direction when we're enjoying ourselves, the content's doing well. But I still feel like we've hit a barrier and we need to break through it. I feel it's the views. I think more people should enjoy it. I love that this many people enjoy it at the minute, but I think so many more people could.
See, when we sat down last time, it was coming off just off the back of you'd been out and filmed the purple GT3 video with Freddie in the States. And I've been inspired, which is why we've bought a second van in the US, hopefully doing it at Freddie's unit, converting it into a second studio that matches this setting. Yeah. Because a bit like what you just said, you feel like you're hitting a wall, like, where's the next bit? Yeah. And it's funny because you hear all these cliche comments about movie stars and people in the acting world, but it's just like, I'm going to go to Hollywood. I'm going to go to America and I'm going to become a star. But realistically, is that what you've got to do when you've hit where you currently are? I
think, we're tapping into the, like, American audience, and I do think it's helped us a lot going over there. And again, all the multilingual channels as well, doing the channel in Spanish is going to help with the audience over in Spain and Mexico and everything like that. Like, it's generally like, it's like a world domination thing, really. But I don't know why. I want that. Do you know, now I've actually thought about it. I don't know why, but...
Well, I know from getting to know you that you are rather competitive, as am I, because one quick track battle a couple of months ago has turned into, right, every car that I build, we're going to Teesside and pitch against a purple Manto round the track. So I just don't think you can be surprised at the fact that a lot of people that sit opposite the van naturally have got to where they are because you notice the same competitive flair in them time and time again. The only one that I don't know if I saw it as much in was Freddie. I think Freddie has this aura of calmness about him and relaxation. Freddie's
that's
unreal. What I see on camera. But you've obviously collaborated, Freddie. You talk about looking at channels like Whistle and Diesel. Where's the line between looking at a creator as a collaboration friend and channel and a competitor? Where's that line? Because you could also be excused for saying, if it's me analysing this from the outside, would Mat Armstrong think, okay, we're putting out longer videos now, they're 20 minutes long or 30 minutes long. So's Freddie, so's Chris Slick, so's this person, so's these people that are rebuilding the crash damage supercars. I want that view more than I want them to have that view. Where's the line in YouTube between collaboration and competitor?
I don't think there's any competitiveness. Like, do you know, just because one person watches my video doesn't mean they're not going to watch Freddie's video. I don't, like, a lot of people, I think there is some creators out there that think it is a competition, that just because someone doesn't watch one video, they're not going to watch the other. But I think people will compare it to, but they'd only compare it to if you make it similar to that person. Like, I don't think Freddie's videos are, it's the same sort of topic, but I don't think Freddie's videos are similar to our videos. But people will, I don't know, will people can compare them to each other? Maybe they would, I don't know. But I think I don't see it as competitiveness. I don't think if someone's watching Freddie's video, they're not going to watch ours. I think we could learn off each other. Like, I struggle to see the competitiveness.
Well, the last time we sat here, one thing, talking about also being inside your unit and those walls enclose on you and the team that it takes to run the channel, something that surprised me was just how easy you kind of said that working with the family and friends had gone. We're now 6 months on. Is that still the case?
Oh
Those
yeah.
guys?
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah,
it baffles me. There's going to be loads of people listening and watching. It's just going to be like, I went into business with me mate. We butted heads. That was the end.
So
me and
many-
my missus cannot work together. Like she has got to be away.
Oh,
For
yeah.
you, it just ticks. How?
So many people say that. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I think it's because we all enjoy it. You know, like there's not a lot of people ask that. Like, don't you get in arguments with like your dad or your missus and stuff? It's like it's hard to get in arguments. You know, when you're really enjoying what you're doing. And you know, if I was trying to work something and the main motivation was money, there could be arguments. This is right. This is wrong. But genuinely what we're doing, it's like we're just going, do you know, you're going down the pub with your mates and you're having a laugh. It's like you don't really get in an argument when you're having a laugh. It's really difficult to, I think maybe my personality helps as well, that I can see more. I know what people are like if they're feeling like a bit down or they're getting angry at something, then I won't like trigger the argument. But I don't know. We don't really have like anything like that.
Have you ever, in the 5 years you've been doing this now, I think it is 5-6 years, something like
Yeah.
that. Have you ever thrown a tool across the workshop?
I don't know.
Because I think it's a marker of patience. Genuinely. I grew up with my mates taking the mick out of me because I like fishing. And I
Yeah.
can happily go and spend time on the bank and relax and be patient and not get frustrated most of the time.
Yeah.
And have the wind and the challenges of the weather throw everything at me and somehow still, for some reason, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I see similarities in that inside that unit when something just won't come apart or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
just won't happen. And I asked Matt about it before you came in here. This is the other Matt. And he says, honestly, I haven't. Like,
Yeah,
and I just
I
don't know
just-
how. I've never seen him get angry.
I can't.
And it's
I
like,
don't know why. I don't know.
because you're someone with so much personality, which is why people invest in the channel, because the personality of you. Your dad, there's like the side men of cars effect coming
Yeah.
onto the channel. But even Jezza got angry on Top Gear.
I think I can get frustrated, but ultimately I'm doing what I enjoy doing. I can't think of a point where I've completely lost it. I can get frustrated. It's like, oh my God, this is not going the way I wanted it to go. But ultimately I'm doing what I enjoy doing. I just can't, if I do it so I didn't enjoy it. So example, like working the full-time job I was working at, or so, like there'll be days there where I'll be like, oh, I absolutely hate this and I can't stand it. And then it gets the worst of you. But it must be the way my brain works, but I can really like overcome it. But I definitely was in a much worse state doing something I didn't enjoy just because I wanted to earn money. Like I think when you're down, you're way more down. Whereas what I'm doing now, the down is like the high of when I was working the 9 till 5. So it's the new highs and the different lows and as such. It's really hard to be down doing what I'm doing. I honestly can't think of a time.
Do you prefer praise or criticism?
I think I work better with praise. I think it's all to do with the way my mind works as well, in like manifesting things and that type of stuff. Like if someone would, I don't know who said to me, but like somebody said that, do you know people who go to the gym say they look at themselves and think, I'm massive, I'm huge. They've said it so many times in their head that they become massive and huge. They believe it in their mind that they're massive and huge. They walk around like this, but they become big. But like if you walk around and you're like, oh, and then all of a sudden I'm saying, I'm not doing so well. Or do you know if someone goes, you look ill, and then I feel ill, and then all of a sudden you go downhill. But I think if someone says to me, you're doing really well, you'll say, oh, you come out with all them figures. You say, oh, you've like doubled in last time. And I'm like, yes, I have. And then I'm so motivated to go back and start doing more and more and more. Whereas if you've come and said to me, you've not done as well, you've got more dislikes than likes, or this is not done as well, then it's easy for me to be like, oh, okay, I'm not doing as well. But I guess it's part of, putting it out in the universe, I'll say. It's.
But you said a line on the previous podcast we did, which is you talk better to a camera than you do to people.
Yeah.
And what's really difficult is an audience that literally adores you. And it's genuine adornment in the comments. And, you know, I've spent time for this episode researching, going down, and there's people saying, Matt, you are so good. I can't believe you were 2 seconds off of the stig. Like, you are God. I can't get over this. And it's like, I've been at a lot of car shows that you've been at, which you get to meet a lot of your fans, a lot of the audience that come and queue. Is that a bit that you really struggle with? Would you prefer just to hunker down under the snail shell in the unit?
Yeah. If I couldn't,
and just be like, guys, I love you all to bits, but I really prefer it just on the screen.
Yeah, that's something that I don't expect. It's the amount of people which do watch the channel and do love it and do generally like me. I'm so thankful for all of it, but I just don't know how to deal with like all the different people. I'm not massively a people person, and I think that's why I shut myself away in the unit late nights working on the car. That's how I deal with it. That's how I enjoy doing stuff. So being around all these people that want to talk and like they feel like they know me because we make the content feel like they're sitting down with us, so it's like we know us as a friend. I feel it is slightly strange, but if all it's got to take for them is to imagine it the other way round, like they're just a normal person, and then all of a sudden there's thousands and thousands of people that want to speak to you and feel like they know you. It is a strange thing. That's
the feeling. It's when they've spent that many hours watching you, so you gain that much knowledge of what that person's personality is like.
Yeah.
And then you get 10 seconds of them.
Yeah.
Or a minute. It's a very weird exchange of information.
Oh yeah. I never want them to have a bad experience as well. Like, I mean, if someone's watched me their whole life and then all of a sudden they bump into me at a petrol station and I'm in a rush or something like that, and they're like, hi, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, I'm filling up, and then they've gone, that's their first impression of me, then it's not going to be a great one. And you're not going to be the guy on camera 24/7 of the day. You've got places to be, things to do, and busy.
If
and
you're
like,
in the gym, 10th rep, absolutely knackered. You've got someone trying to talk to you about your first video. What was the bolt difficult to come from the RS6? Do you have a lot more respect now for other creators that maybe when you were watching creators, when you were led on the drive under the TT, or back in that period of time, and maybe you'd hear a story of, I don't know, Kanye West was a dick to someone out in public.
Oh, yeah.
There's this. Do you now go, I actually do understand?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like big celebrities and things like that now, like I can't, when people come to me and say, oh, I've heard he's an absolute knobhead, I've heard he's this, but like when there's thousands of people, there's bound to be one person or two people which have had a bad experience and then go jabber about it. But I do feel more towards them now. We've had a bit of a taste of it, but it's hard to deal with because what we learn is when I was young, I used to watch football and stuff. You see David Beckham and you think he's like a god almost, but he is just a normal person like everyone else. And it must be strange for him as it is strange for me to have people walk up to me. It's a peculiar thing.
And how's your dad found that?
Genuinely, I think he likes it. I actually think he likes it.
Genuinely, to the camera, the unit is right behind us. Me and Steve turned up, walked through the door. Everybody had their heads down, cutting up cars. Genuinely, there was sparks flying towards, I'll never forget it, a children's seat that was behind Tony. There was sparks flying onto it, nearly catching light. You were cutting up a car over in the corner. He just turned around, looked at Steve and went, because he recognised him from the track day the other day. And it's so genuine how you actually manage to capture that when you're on camera and put it, but that's how he is. But then,
yeah, I think my dad really enjoys it. He's been a mechanic his whole life and had to deal with customers. He didn't necessarily want to be a mechanic. He was like carpentry, I'm sure, and he just got sort of pushed into the mechanic position. And I don't think he's genuinely enjoyed it. He's done the job to earn money, to make a living. And he knows a lot through it. I think he enjoys the job satisfaction of it when the car's finished and done, but he genuinely just hates cars. But now, once he retired, and then we sort of gave him a part-time job, then a full-time job, and then he just comes out of his shell on camera, and then everyone loves him on the videos. I think he should have done what I did years ago. So he should have just filmed what he was doing, and I would be working for him on his YouTube channel. But I think the difference is he didn't film it, but I generally think it would have been amazing doing that.
The relationship your audience sees between you and your dad brings something out of them which goes, I think there'll be many people that don't have a relationship like that with their father, or people like myself that did and then they're no longer around through death or something along those lines. And there's going to be something out there go, oh my God, that's just so wholesome. That fulfills me with joy.
Oh, people love it.
Has that always been the case? Or is this the best your relationship has ever been with
This
your
is
father?
the best we've had, definitely, because like when I was young, my mum and dad split up. I lived with my mum the majority of my life, and I didn't really see my dad as much. It was like he lived not far away, but enough away to be, if I was going to my dad's house, it would be away from my friends. So I never really used to see him. And you don't realise till now that actually like beat him up a bit. Like now we talk a lot and he's on camera. Now he comes out and says, oh, you never really wanted to see me when I was little. I was like, not really. I wasn't, not like that. I just, when you're a kid, you don't think like that. You just think, I just want to be with my friends, play football, do this and do that. So I don't think we've seen each other as much. And then as we got older, it just, we shared obviously the same interests of like cars and stuff. I went to work with him for a bit, but I think it was still, we never hated each other. I just didn't see as much of him. And obviously I knew if anything went wrong, I knew like with cars, straight on the phone with my dad. He was always the money guy as well. So if I needed any advice about like money or what to do, again, I'd be straight on the phone to my dad. And then obviously the whole Murcielago thing came about when I got the Murcielago and the engine needed building. I've never rebuilt an engine. I knew my dad had, and gave him a call and he says, oh, I'll come up and help. And then from then it just, I don't know what happened. The wheels started turning, and it is literally like he's one of the lads now who just come Florida with us. And it doesn't seem like my dad. It's just like, it's weird to think that he's like years older than us because we ruin him some days. But yeah, it's never really been like that before, never. But now it's amazing.
Would you say, because obviously we spoke about this, and definitely not in the last few years, it's hard to find that moment. But what I'm trying to figure out is the guy that has so much mental toughness, strength and resilience and stays so well in the lane that they're in, very data, analytically driven, works incredibly hard to get something out on time. I could imagine it would unbelievably irritate you if you were a day late with a video.
Oh yeah,
it would do your head. But what I try and look for is what was a key defining factor when someone was younger that could have set them on that path. And a lot of the other guys that I've spoke to in your team are actually, I'd say, a lot more emotional than you.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think children that have gone through divorce are tougher because of that experience? And do you think that was maybe the moment when you were younger?
Do you know what?
Set you on how you are now?
Now you say it, yeah. I think, yeah, it's like clicking in my head now. Probably, yeah. Again, yeah, my mum and dad split up, and then all my dad used to do all the time, all I remember him doing all the time when I was a kid, is working, like constantly. It was just on something. But my brain now I know a lot more about my dad. It's like the same as me. It's like you don't switch off. Even we struggle to sleep because we can't switch off what we're doing. We have to have something to do. The only reason he's not retired and chilling watching Dave every weekend is because he can't switch off, and it's the same as me. And I do think, yeah, I think maybe that it is what it is. You just become so focused on your own goals. And yeah, I would say I'm not an emotional person. I'm not like
the most
I'm not emotionally
person
driven
I've ever met that shows the most emotion on camera.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Because even when you
yeah.
were flying around the other week in the 720S, I knew by corner 4 that you were having a shit hot lap.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
could just see the teeth.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I think. I'm very emotional, but I'm not emotionally driven. I think that's probably the best way to. I wouldn't make decision based on my emotion at the time or anything like that. But yeah, I think it's clearly to see when I'm like at the top of the top and then at the bottom of the bottom, but I don't make decisions based on that. I can still, my mind still overpowers my emotions, whereas some people are emotionally driven. Oh, I feel really bad for this person, so I'm going to do this weekend instead of going to do my video or going to do this. Whereas a lot of people put that aside, whereas sometimes I struggle with that. Like, again, I don't spend probably as much time as I should with Hannah doing stuff, but, and then I'll struggle to see that. I'll struggle to see, oh, why don't I want to go and do that stuff, or why I'm so fixated on something else. But yeah, I don't know. I do struggle with that type of thing because I'm so fixated on what I want to do. But I guess that's the downside of the stuff I do. It's hard.
Have you ever been diagnosed with ADHD, or do you think you've just got it?
I've probably just got it. I've probably just got it. It's definitely, yeah. There's definitely, and again, I think it's part of these things. That if I start diagnosing myself with it and say I've got ADHD, then I start to notice more like things of it. So I try not to like think about it, but probably I have.
But I think having that or having traits of that, it's crazy because the amount of people that sit opposite usually have done something special or different, which has separated them. Hence why they're sat on a podcast talking about what it is that they've done. But all of them, I'd sit there and their rhythm, the way they tick, that person's rhythm isn't this.
Yeah.
It's this. It's constantly that. It's a trait of everybody that sits opposite is the rhythm that they are ticking at. The people around you've put together, they all seem to tick at the same rhythm. But one difference between you and the other Matt, who I'd say is one of the people you're closest with as a working relationship within that unit, is that when I see other creators or people or individuals coming up to you, your instant reaction is, yeah. No matter what it is, it's just like, oh, hi, Matt, can you give us the login details to your studio? Yeah. Like that on the phone. That's how you are. And that's what I've seen, where Matt Jones will literally be like, no, mate, you ain't going near him. Yeah. Back off. He's like security in a way.
Yeah. I needed to employ someone to be a no man, really, because I'm too much of a yes man. And I know it's bad for me, but like it's like I struggle with people pleaser almost. I'm like yeah, and then I'll agree to things that I can't do, and I needed to employ a no man, and definitely Matt is a no man. He won't say, if I think of something and I'll be like, oh, I think this is a good idea, then he'll be like, no, because of this, you're going to hate this because of this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably right. Or a brand will come up to me, I've got this brilliant idea, and I don't want to annoy them and say, oh, sorry, I don't want to do it. But if I've got somebody else to do that, then that's no problem.
I won't say where, how, and what it was, but we witnessed it the other night at dinner. Matt's ability to just literally turn his phone off, push it over to the other Matt and go, could you?
I think as well, like, I don't want people to have a bad, like, especially, again, like I have to deal with brands and stuff, and I don't want them to have a bad taste in their mouth about the way I've acted around them or so. And Matt can fight that battle for me if we're arguing about the way a video is, or the way how much we want to charge per video or something like that. If I'm arguing it for myself, it comes across quite big-headed, like I'm worth this much and I think it should be like this. Whereas their impression of me is what they see on the videos is I've just fixed the cars and like we're having a laugh. And then when we're trying to do like a business argument battle, it doesn't come across so well. Whereas if Matt's fighting that battle for me, then they can have a bad taste with Matt, no problem. Like they can hate Matt for all they like, but they still see me as, oh, we want to work with Matt, but we just struggle to get through the other Matt. Like, but that's nice to have. It built like a perfect team, really, and it's good that he can do that side of it. It works perfectly. Like, you need to employ a knobhead.
Other creators that would like to make content, I've watched how they naturally would want to follow you around and make a video with your name on it at the minute, because anything with your name on it seems to be able to just have that extra magic dust of increasing the views, so that other creators are going to make money out of that. Do you struggle to choose who to collaborate with and who not to collaborate with? And do you think you're a little bit less collaborative than other YouTubers with similar followings, just because you'd like to stay in your own lane, how you do things?
I think we are a little bit not necessarily because we like to stay in our own lanes, but just because of the schedule. Like, you should just see how mental it is of like the deadline of like, we want to get a video out for next week, so we've got to work on the car. And do you know, like if someone wants to collaborate or do like a video together, it's like we're already just working at this pace, and to step out and do something with somebody else, it's a massive like sidestep for us, which puts us way out of line of what we're doing. So unless it really works with us, then a collaboration, it's difficult to collaborate. So, like with Freddie, it was just an easy collaboration. It was not forced. It's like, I'm going over there to build a car. The collaboration is it just was meant to be. But if I was to collaborate with someone, say random, who's got like a gym channel or something like that, then we'd have to go out of a way to do something. And I think it's so difficult for me to share my time. That's even you now. I get so many messages about coming on podcasts all the time, but I can't. I'd happily go do them, but I can't because we're at the unit doing this. So the only reason you could do it is because you've got a van. Like, obviously we really like you, but, but you've got a van and you can come to the unit and we can do it. That's it.
Because I beat him twice.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about the next car, hopefully. But yeah, I think that is it's our time that I really struggle with. We have got no time.
So in doing so, one of my favourite sayings my dad said to me, not far away from when he passed away, was, Ben, you can keep some of the people happy some of the time, but not all of the people happy all of the time. Yeah. Do you ever think you're pissing off other creators by not working with them in the space? And do you just accept that that's going to happen now you're getting to the level that you're getting to? I
don't know. I don't want to say I would annoy them, because like there was some people that we would like to do videos with and like they won't respond to us or anything like that. But I don't get annoyed by that. Like it doesn't annoy me. I just think, oh, they must be as busy as we are, and it's like hard to fit with the schedules. But I think I wouldn't say. Yeah, I wouldn't say I feel like I'm going to annoy them, but I don't know, maybe some people, they might feel like that, like, oh, I've not replied to him, so he's not replied to me, so I hate him. I don't like him, but I don't know, it's struggle with that.
Why do you think your audience or audiences are captivated by rebuilding a crashed, damaged car?
I don't think I think rebuilding the car is the topic, but I think they're so captivated by the story, the whole story of, I was a normal person, still am, that worked at a regular job as anybody else would do out here in the UK. And the story, in a matter of only 5 years, it's gone from working on a driveway, rebuilding regular cheap cars, to now building up this huge thing which people watch worldwide, building supercars and traveling to America to do stuff like that. I think the story is a massive part of it, because I think, I hope it gives people motivation to do. If I didn't take the leap of doing what I did over lockdown, I never would have been in this position. And I'm hoping that gives the encouragement for other people. I think the rebuilding the car is the topic, but they stayed for the story.
And I think you mentioned a key word there, which is leap, because you've not stayed still. And it's been really interesting because everybody, the noise is, rebuilding crash damaged supercars. If you can get a rebuild, it's just the thing at the minute. It's hot. It's all the rest of it. And I've been kind of sat back and had different people on that build it. I've had Freddie, I've had Chris, I've had all kinds of people in their areas that do it. And I can't help but think, is this bubble going to burst? Is it going to burst at some point? Is there going to be a dip? But it really hit home to me the other day when we were at that track filming that video. I was like, hang on a second, this is working. And like you put the video out and it went #1
Oh,
trending.
it went mental,
and
yeah.
you told me you weren't expecting it to do that.
I barely touched the car in the video.
So then that suddenly said to me, okay, they've realised that is the core topic part of it, but the actual video is developed from
It's
the bits.
the story,
around
that
it.
It's the whole story, it's the journey, it's the team, it's the package.
You didn't
everything.
expect it to necessarily work doing the bits that you now do around the core rebuild.
No, when we're doing video, like I know people love the rebuilding the cars stuff, and there's people that do watch it purely just for the rebuilding videos and don't necessarily like when we go on the road trips, when we go on track. I know there's people that don't like that type of thing, but when we filmed the video like the other day where we've gone on track and we've gone to McLaren, we're still trying to solve problems as such, but it's more of a story than it is rebuilding the cars, and people still really enjoy the video, and it did so well. And I think that's the package of it. It's not necessarily, I think there's thousands of other mechanics out there which are way better than what I could ever do. Like, they so much more knowledgeable than me, and they can rebuild a car better than me. But if they filmed it on YouTube, would it do as well? Probably not. Like, they have to have a full package that people can invest in. Like, there's people building supercars now, but they don't get as many people watching as what we do, because the story is from the very beginning of we've been on the driveway and to what we're doing now. I think outsiders who look in will probably think, oh, this is just a rich kid who's got a Lamborghini and he's rebuilding it and he's funded by his dad or he's funded by somebody else. But then when they start looking back at the videos,
that is actually one of the most Googled search terms. So I do my research before this.
Yeah.
And how has Mat Armstrong got his money is one of the most Googled
Really?
search terms, which is insane.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's no like mystery surrounding that. I think the pinned video on your channel is the story for people to see.
I think that's because naturally people, I think it's a human thing, doesn't it? They think, okay, this guy is around my age maybe, and he's rebuilding supercars and he's doing this and is absolutely loving life. But the only reason he's done it is because of something that I haven't got. He's got a rich dad, or maybe inherited loads of money. People look for an excuse of how I've done it and they've not done it. And generally we've built it up from the bottom. That's what I want people to see. And then people might click in the head, oh, I could do that. If he's done it, look at him. He's got holes in his ears. His tattoos everywhere. If he can do it, I can do it. And that's generally what we want to put across in our videos, that, whatever you enjoy doing, you can't fail at, because if you genuinely enjoy it, there is money to be made in whatever it is. You just need to find the right thing.
But you are always on about how you go to the next level.
Yeah.
So if I'd have sat down with you maybe 2 years ago, I'm sure you'd have been doing 150 to 350,000 views. And you'd be like, I'm sure we can get 1 million views a video. I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
So like now, when you're just like, because you've almost validated the proof that that's possible. When you're like, I can do 5 million views a video. We can do it.
Yeah.
What do you think is possible out of I say automotive because it's becoming more of the people, the channel, the entertainment, but is possible out of this channel captivating this audience? Because Mr. Beast, I think he just passed 200 million subscribers. Am I right?
Yeah.
Do you think it is possible to have a 100 million subscriber channel doing this thing? You think there's enough people?
I think so. I think I can't see why not. I genuinely think, we can get 100 million. I don't know when, by 100 million, it is possible. There's enough people to be interested. You just think how many people in the world drive cars. Near enough, most populated country drive cars and knows about cars. Or why would they not be interested in rebuilding cars or a journey with a car? There's even people's girlfriends that sit down to watch videos who don't even care about cars are watching the channel now. So why can't there be 100 million people watching?
But if you're satisfied and you see Matt with the money that you make, with the cars that you do, the life you get to have, the immense laughter in the small unit and the site, and the fact the videos with actually less valuable cars like the RS6 are some of the ones that do better than any other content.
Yeah.
The fact that you say that you struggle sometimes with how many people you're coping with that know you and getting to know you, and you would rather be living under a rock. And we see it at Autosport, at petrol hedonism, wherever you are, the queue going for miles and you trying to comprehend that. Why then do you chase more?
I can't even answer that question. I can't, I don't know. I think it's just because I naturally want the next thing. Like, if we are happy with where we are, we'd never progress. I've always wanted the next thing, the next goal, and that's how I progress. I'm genuinely happy where we're at. Like, I've got everything I've ever wanted ever, but why do I want the next thing? I don't know. I honestly, I think it's just to prove to myself.
Take you to a place that you have bigger numbers but less happiness.
Maybe I honestly don't know. I really struggle.
If you could pick everything up right now, where you're at now, and move the whole operation into a unit next to Freddie in Florida, and relocate from the UK to America, would you do it?
Yeah. Just because of the weather.
Is it just because of the weather?
Oh, well.
Not the fact that you want to expand the US audience. You want to do this.
The weather is a massive thing for me. I've said it to all the guys in America. We've even gone as far as buying one of these things called a collagen bed. Don't know if you ever heard of it. It's like I think Joe Rogan uses one as well. It's like a red bed. So
is this just you and Hannah's freaky bed?
Yes. Well, it does tan you, but it's got red tubes in it, which release it gives you vitamin D. It helps like recovery, and it helps with like seasonable depression. Is that what it's called? So when I come here, I struggle with it massively. Like, it's grey, it's dark, it's dull, it's raining, and my mood is not as good as when I'm in Florida. I'm so motivated. I'm up at 7 a.m. there. I wake up at 9:30 here, not just because of the time difference.
I've never thought of that.
I get massively more motivated when I'm there. I get way more done when I'm over there. We laugh. And in the summer here, it's the same. All the best times, all my best memories are from summertime when the sun's out. I never have an amazing memory when it's raining.
So what you're saying is, Ben, get that second podcast studio finished. We're going to spend the winters in Florida.
I've got
and the summers in.
There's people that watch and say like, they don't like that. Oh, don't like the UK. I don't dislike the UK. It's the weather. It's not a changeable thing. We can't change the weather, but the weather has a massive impact on my mood.
Do you know what? I'm going to do it. And if you want me to cut it out afterwards, will have to be the case because he's Mat Armstrong. But I'm going to give everybody watching this a world effing exclusive right now in this van. It's actually surprising that Mat Armstrong would want to move to a country with lots of sun, extreme rays, extreme heat. Matt, would you like to take the floor and maybe just give away a little secret about you?
Surely I would have thought people would know this, but maybe they don't. But I am actually a ginger. Like, I don't know if I'm like as quite ginger as you. I don't know because I haven't tried it in a long time.
Matt Armstrong is actually ginger. Now,
it's a world-breaking news.
Let me give you a little story the other day. After we did our first video on the track, racing the Lamborghini versus the GT3, someone, you sent it to me in the comments, put, I can't believe Matt was beaten by a ginger. Now, if that person is watching...
You took this off. Yeah, no, I just haven't... I haven't been. Well, I say I'm still a ginger at heart, but yeah, I haven't had like ginger hair in a long time.
So, what I would like to actually finish off with then is a thought: is to everybody listening and watching, no matter how hard the creator works in getting across to you on camera what's actually going on, what their life actually is, and how much you think how much you think you know them. Really, there's always going to be stuff that you don't know, and we're looking forward to seeing the stuff that we don't know come to life, your creativity and how you move forward. So, Mat Armstrong, thanks for putting up with me for an hour again. Thank you for buying food again, because we've got this deal that every time I beat Matt, around a track, he has to buy me dinner. So I've actually not bought him food
This
yet.
is in advance of next time because I feel like it's going to happen again.
Look forward to racing you again soon, mate. And I look forward to you showing off the builds behind us right now that haven't been revealed because they are insane. So appreciate that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have you got the photo of Matt when he was ginger?
Yeah. Oh no, I can't show you that. Oh my god.
It'll look blurry in the camera anyway.
There he is.
It'll look blurry in
Where
the
do you want it,
camera.
that way? That's his sister next to him.
Man, perfect. That's all we need. That is perfect.
Like a drug